Hey, we're back for another season of When Marriage and Purpose Collide.
We share our dating experiences and have our own story that led to marriage.
We are here to inspire and encourage Christian singles who are striving to date with a purpose and have a desire for marriage. As a coach that helps women in their dating season
and guide men in theirs, we will provide you with thought-provoking hot topics that can challenge your thinking and encourage you in your single season.
So take notes and join in on the discussion. We would love to see your input in the conversation. Now on to the episode. Hey, y'all. Hey, we are going to continue with the episode in just a sec. But before we do, I have something to share. So if you don't know me, I'm Lucretia Haley. I'm a speaker, author, and purpose and relationship coach. I teach Christian single women how to date with confidence and cultivate relationships that lead to love and commitment. So listen, if you're a single sister out there, and I get it, it is tough dating out in this season. It's a lot going on, right? But you may be listening to relationship sermons, even going to church, and your church has done a series on relationships. You keep be the one that's reading. You are in the books, reading books from these notable authors that are sharing biblical information in regards to relationships and singleness and all the things, right? You could be watching podcasts just like this one and many others that are out there, getting and gathering all the information you can, just because you need to fulfillment and you need to get that uplift to encourage you in your single season. And most importantly, you may be going to singles nights, you may be hanging with your girls, all the things, but you find yourself still stuck. You find yourself in a place to where you still need some assistance. And if you were anything like myself, I did all the things that I just mentioned. I took the notes. I read the books. I listened, right? All the things that I did, but I did not have anybody to walk alongside me on my single journey to share the things that I needed to hear, to tell me how I needed to date, to shield me from what I didn't need to get myself into. So listen, sis, this is where my purpose and relationship skills come into play because I want to help you because I needed help myself. So I have two programs, right? Two programs out there just for you. And one is called Can't Wait to Date Sessions. Yes, can't wait to date because I can't wait for you to date with confidence, to date with courage, to date with boldness, and to finally meet the guy that God has for you. And what we'll do on these sessions is I'll break you down into phases, right? There's a pause phase, right? Some of y'all are coming into your season where you're probably pausing out of a relationship and you're ready to start new, or you still want to know what's going on. Some of you are dating just to explore, which is totally fine. Some of you are dating exclusively, and some of you are out there are dating and engaged, right? You're engaged and you're ready to be married. And so I'm here to help you out. So we're going to talk about relationships of your past. What are those blocks that may have been holding you back from continuing in your future? We're going to talk about conversations that you should have on the early dating stages, and also your energy on dates and how that makes or breaks, right? The dates that you can have, or the phone calls that you have, the online dating experience that you have. Also, we're talking about choosing well. What does it look like to really choose the guy that's meant for you, right? And so, what you'll leave with in this dating session is a customized dating plan that's going to help jumpstart you in a new direction to helping you with dates that can happen in the future, and that you can just start walking with confidence, start walking with clarity, right? No more confusion and no more frustration. It's all about walking in clarity and confidence. The second program that I have is called the Before the Husband program. It is a coaching program, 6 weeks, jam packed with great tools and resources, helping you from your single stage all the way into your married stage, meaning I'm going to be giving you information, and we're going to have some discussions and conversations about what it means to be married, what it means to date, and what it means to come back to yourself and self awareness, right? Most importantly, will you be ready to invite the guy that you want in your life? You say you want somebody, which cool, sis. I believe you. I'm here with you. I'm rocking with you. However, if they were to be on your doorstep right now, would you say you can invite them in? Would you say that relationship could last without self sabotage? right? And some of you may have come from unhealthy relationships or in your family, in your generations past, and you're the one who's breaking that curse, right? You're the one who's going to do it the right way. So listen, before the husband coaching is open now, go to and can't wait to date sessions, right? Both are available. So please go to the description, click the link, and I can't wait to have you in the session. I can't wait to chat with you. I can't wait to relate with you. We're going to have a good time and it's going to be a blessed experience. All right. I love y'all. Have a wonderful day. Now, let's get on to the episode.
Working in progress.
Yo, what's up, y'all?
Yep.
Hey, we back. Cruising down the highway like that. Going down the highway like that. Rapping in the microphone like that. We doing it like that.
Oh gosh.
Forgot to put the transition. You just leave it. Just leave it. Fine.
No. Redo.
Man, I was flowing like that.
And then there we go. It just says,
like that. Yo, welcome to another episode of When Marriage
and Purpose
Collide,
the
podcast. And we're back. The Haleys coming to you.
Strong. Oh.
What? Coming to you with another podcast episode. We'd like to thank y'all for joining us again. Y'all back. Y'all like us. I'm glad y'all like us.
I was going to show the... Oh, well, it just says KC. There you go.
What you showing that for?
Huh? What?
What are you showing that for?
Well, I was showing the cup because it's really clear, but it's blue because it's cold.
Can you... I think people could hear your gulps in the...
I know.
Mike, can you stop? Because it's annoying me, actually, as you're doing it. So if you could stop, that would be great.
It's just going to be happening.
No,
I can't fix
yes,
how
you can.
God made
And you
mine.
just keep gulping. It's been since we was married. No, since we've been married, or maybe we were dating, that got on my nerves. Like, I don't think anybody else I can hear gulps from. Like, I don't hear that from people. But you, I hear when you drink, I got to hear the gulps. I don't understand it.
I don't know. You should hear my daddy.
Huh?
I said you should hear my daddy.
No.
It's wild. Anyway.
Thank y'all for tuning in for another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in on YouTube and on the podcast streaming sites.
Spotify.
Make sure you leave a comment,
Apple.
all the things to let us know how you like this episode. If you got any questions for him, for me, all the things. I'm ready for spring. I am ready for spring.
It kind of showed itself. Actually, I meant to comment on that. We got these flowers on the side. They always show up at the wrong time.
It's not the wrong time.
Maybe it's the right time.
It's the right time. That's what I say. It's the right time for them. That's a word.
It's the wrong time for me.
Right, Shondo, that's a word. It might be the wrong time.
Super cold and then die before spring.
But it's the right time for them. It's the right time for you in the wrong season.
What?
You might think it's the wrong season, but it's actually the right time to pursue what God has for you. Can I get an amen?
She's been watching Malcolm.
I have been watching.
X and Martin.
MLK X Genius National Geographic. It's phenomenal. Y'all have not watched that. Please watch it. I needed to put myself in the Black History Month mood. So that's why I did it. So for those who are listening to this in March, this is recorded in February.
Bean pie, my brother.
So bean pie, my brother. Anyway, y'all know how we start off episode. We start off with confessions. Go ahead, sing my song.
These are my confessions.
And actually, we got to hear that. The actual guy that sung the song at the Super Bowl last week.
What about him?
The guy that sung it. Usher. These are my confessions. You
mean Alicia Keys' work husband?
Do. All right.
Hopefully y'all caught that.
Yeah, I don't know. You might not have caught it. I was doing the ticking.
No, you didn't catch it.
Oh, what? I heard what you said.
Oh, okay.
I heard all what you said. And how did he get married? Right? I didn't even know that.
Was that true?
Yeah, he got married right after. Like he went to the Las Vegas ceremony thing.
Treacherous.
Is it?
Yes.
They was been together since 2019.
That's even worse. He was going around ruining relationships, and he was like, "I'm getting married though."
The baby was in the back seat. I don't know. That's the picture I saw. Her in the wedding dress, him next to her, baby in the back seat.
This man is definitely work husband material. Flirt with you and do everything else at work, and then when he get home, he got baby in the back seat.
Baby in the back. Okay. Anyway, this is my confessions.
Come on,
do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. My confession is I'm gonna try to start looking. Now I gotta look up at y'all if I want to look.
I've been looking.
It looks weird.
It's up there, but we're looking.
But it looks weird because we're looking up. You don't have it in our eye level. That's what it is.
I should put some eyes on it. Some googly eyes on the camera.
No, you need to put eyes near where people would look like we're looking at them.
It's not gonna work. Anyway, go ahead.
Confession is I miss growing up in the 90s. That's my confession. I feel like, and it's been talked about, it's nothing brand new. It's been like on TikTok and all the other things on social media where it's like the 90s were free. We felt like everything was good.
Tall tees.
Okay. Man, bright colors.
Oh no, that was early 2000s.
That's what I was saying. Tall tees. I was like, no. Bright colors, bubble jackets, overalls. Do we wear overalls? Yeah, we wear overalls. All the things. And just the music, like hearing Usher at the concert brought back some memories because he played some of his old stuff. And then I forgot somebody else played something the other day and it was like old, like 90s music. Oh, it was on TikTok. Yeah, it was on TikTok. And it was just like all the songs he was doing was all 90s music. And I was like, man, like times were good. It was great. And then Columbine happened. And then
you acting like that changed the whole timeline.
It didn't. It's just that.
But I mean, it's still tragic.
All the things that happened. It's just like our world changed. And it's like we can't see it as fun. Like it was free and everything. And now we were worried to go to school. You know, you had all these extreme measures. September 11th happened. All the things started happening. And like, it's like everything kind of got stripped away from us a little bit.
I think you're putting childhood in there.
It is childhood. My childhood got taken.
The adults was already going through it. Our parents and everything, they was going through it. Talking about the 90s. So free. They was just like bills, y'all.
You might be true. Bills and y'all.
My daddy had to be forced to go to Aldi's, and Aldi's was for the poor back then.
Was it?
Yes. It wasn't Walmart. Now it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to Aldi's. Before it was like, why would I go to Aldi's? All the food over there is cheap. I ain't doing that.
Right.
Man, he went over there. He fed all of us. He was like, I'm feeding all y'all. Eat these dollar cookies.
Eat these dollar cookies.
Anyway, 90s, yeah.
I just feel like I miss those days. That's all this thing. And it might be like you're right, childhood. And so I'm looking at, as I look at DeLay and Lavelle growing up, I'm like, what would
I'm trying to protect
that childhood look like for them?
I'm trying my best to protect their bubble.
Yeah, because my bubble was just unprotected. So
I can okay.
No, it was halfway protected. It wasn't all the way unprotected, but it was just like a lot has happened. And our parents couldn't protect us because it was just stuff in the news, stuff that was happening around us. So it's kind of hard to protect. It was just more like, see this. Sorry.
Because just think about that. Like, they brought the TVs in for us to watch the planes hit the building.
Mm-hmm. Well, they brought the TVs in. Let's go back. They brought the TVs in. We watched the OJ trial. How about that? Why are we watching the OJ trial at school? I went to a predominantly Black Hispanic school, so I can only imagine
gonna see this.
In the hood. So
this is unprecedented.
We watch it.
I want play my
Because
TV.
the adults wanted to see it. They
Yeah,
had black teachers
they
at
said,
school.
forget y'all, we rolling this in.
Yeah, all the major things.
That had nothing to do with my education.
Nothing to do it, but it was a thing that we had to do. And I don't even know how you can even bring history into that. Like, what class
That's part of history.
would that
now.
even, with OJ, how can you even put that in a curriculum if you not history? Criminal stuff, that ain't even till college. Like, all the stuff.
You can put it in an AP class.
I guess so.
Debate.
But this was 5th grade. So, but anyway, yes.
It's okay.
It's okay.
They trying to bring it back.
I love the
coming
90s.
out with all these reruns and rehash shows.
Yes.
They coming out with X-Men. I don't know if that you ain't got hype for that. But anyway. The X-Men cartoon, they're coming back out with that. The same 90s style.
Okay. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
They bringing that's what's up.
Not really, because I feel like they're gonna fail us like they've been doing with everything else. They're gonna bring it back and be like, this is whack.
They bringing Twister back. That was 90s.
They are bringing Twisters back. Twister back.
They bringing Twister back.
I hope they don't fail us in that.
They can't. If it's a redo, they cannot fail.
Yes, they can.
Nah.
Yes, they can.
Critic.
Yes, I am very much.
Critic.
Gotta be. Anyway,
go ahead.
Mine confession is, it's not even really confession. It's more like something I just want to talk about.
Okay.
This new game that came out. It's called Helldivers 2. I told you don't judge when I say it. It's called Helldivers 2. The reason why I like it so much, and speaking of the 90s, it reminds me of Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Oh, see, I said it all wrong. I failed myself. Gosh, Starship
Soccer Moon and Black. But only somebody get that reference. Everybody doesn't get that reference.
Nah, we all listen.
It's the part of the movie. It's what he said.
Oh,
movie. But
on good bug is a dead bug.
Is that what he said there?
Mm-hmm.
I just remember the beginning of that. Like, I never really remember what happens after, like in the middle when they go get shipped to what you call it?
That's where he was at boot camp and parents got hit with a meteor.
That movie was that movie was so extra.
Oh,
but okay,
Helldivers 2.
Okay.
It's a combination of basically Starship Troopers and a little bit of Terminator. And it's wonderful. Everything's for democracy in that game. Freedom! And you shooting and everything. All these bugs be coming out there. They all look like the bugs. Yeah, the same bugs from Starship Troopers. Same bugs coming at you.
I don't remember a lot.
Well, you came downstairs. You was kind of watching what I was doing, but you was just like, I don't know what's happening.
I never know what's happening. And sometimes I just blur it out. Like nothing.
Yeah, I see you look at it, you just and went right back upstairs.
Yep.
But it's a wild game. I actually want to play it now, but I can't. So
I want to play it now, but I can't. Anyway, well, babe, I'm glad that's something that's
my confession.
I don't even know. What is it?
Everybody's on that.
Is that your excitement for the game? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. And that you've actually played in a game called Helldivers? Yeah. So
might as well call it Stormtrooper. Anyway.
Topic today. What are we talking about today, babe? What's the gist of it?
You put the title again. No, you changed the teleprompter.
I didn't change. No, go down. I didn't put a title on there. Just leave it there.
Anyway,
it is a
marriage.
Yep.
Expectations.
Yeah.
We still on the expectations, but this time it's marriage.
Oh yeah, right. We did do first date expectations.
Yeah.
The last time.
We kind of skipped the engagement part. We'll do that later.
Yeah, we'll find something. I mean, we'll kind of be talking about it in this one too. But we want to talk about like marriage expectations and some of the challenges that I feel we hear singles encounter today. And what we hear the expectations are and how some are maybe what you experience in marriage, but also how people are far off from it. And that kind of is what's conflicting with people's view of marriage. No matter if you want to be married or not, there's still some views that are out there that are like, y'all believe in what now? Now what's going on? Like how is this working? And so I forgot to pull up the stats that I had of, and I'm sniffling and sneezing.
It's
so a lot of times I think we go off when we talk about marriage and we talk about thinking of marriage, and what people are fearful of is divorce. Like, why am I doing all this only to find out that I'll probably be divorced because of the said divorce rate?
Mm-hmm.
So and you brought up something about divorce, right?
Yeah.
The rate.
You gotta remind me though.
Okay, well, I'll bring up this one. There were some statistics that were given that I was able to see off of Intercession for a Generation. We'll actually have her on for our podcast episode to talk about singles. And it's going to be an awesome episode. I can't wait. But she does stats, and she found this research information about the divorce rate for African Americans. And it says the divorce rate is the highest among African Americans, recorded at 31% in 2018. This is a decrease, though, from 2008, where it was 36%. The divorce rate, of course, has decreased due to the decrease in marriages or delay in marrying older. So what you think about that? When you hear about,
now, what do you mean by marrying older? Marrying when I get older?
When you get older.
Or marrying somebody that's older?
Marrying when you get older.
Okay.
Delay. Yeah. So like, so the decrease in, what did I say? You do the decrease in marriages. Oh, decrease in marriages.
I mean,
and delay in marry older. Yeah.
I mean, if it can't be no percentage if there's no marriage.
Right.
Can't get divorced if I am never there. So
that means there's people that are just cohabitating.
Oh, of course.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people, what is not marrying? Well, people are
just
making commitments. People are just not believing in marriage.
Ain't no point. I don't need that paperwork.
Don't need the paperwork, which I heard from a family member that I talked to, and she was like, I don't want to be married by law. And I said, what you talking?
Well, you're gonna be married by law.
She said, I don't want to do no paperwork. I just want to just be with him. I don't want to have to handle all the things. And so that is somebody's thinking of what they're saying. Now, the reason why they're thinking like that is shapes you can understand, maybe. I didn't go into detail with it, but when you think about the things they may have been through, their family, all the things they've seen, it's like, well, why do I got to go through all that kind of thing?
They still hit you with common law marriage, right?
They still gonna hit you with it.
No, I'm just saying, it ain't gonna be like marriage, but just common law marriage. You still gotta go through that. I don't know the proceedings with that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know if you even gotta. How do they know?
Well, if you in the same household, somehow they figure it out.
Okay, unless you tell them, right? Because some people use it for their benefit.
Oh, of course.
But some people don't even do it at all. They just been together. Yeah. And then there's So I was talking about that, and people shacking, of course. So delay. And then sometimes when it's actually, there's stats, I don't remember the stats, but they're talking about if you live together before you're married, you're more likely to get a divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Because of you kind of, you already know, you kind of felt that kind of marriage. You kind of lived a married quotation life. So you get there, you're like, okay, what else we got to do? So you didn't build up to it like people who have not lived together.
No, you hop in playing house.
You hop in playing house.
And then you like, oh, is this what marriage is supposed to be? No, y'all just went in, just started like, oh, this is what marriage should be.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not. Y'all didn't do no kind of prep time.
No prep, no premarital nothing. No, not knowing like, oh, we know each other. Y'all know each other to a certain extent. Like, but y'all didn't do it right, so y'all don't know each other. Y'all just know each other because y'all live in the house next. You sleep in the same bed. You know him because you see him.
Which the reason now, because of how finances are and cost of living and stuff, is like it makes sense to live with each other. That's what they're saying.
I mean, that's what it is. Inflation, all this stuff. So it's like, why get married when we can just do this?
Here all the time. I ain't about to be paying no $1,000. Probably that's cheap now. $1,000 studio apartment. I might as well be over here with you.
Right, exactly. We can split the costs, call it a day.
Roommate.
Roommates. So people that are doing that, and then yeah, there's people just not believing in marriage. Like it's not a thing for people. And then there's not to mention, I know of a lot of single people around me. There's a lot of people that are single, you know. So and they're not married. They seek to be, they desire to be, but they're not.
Single or got divorced.
Single or divorced people, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of that, and then even the folks that are divorced, some are struggling with even the thought of being married again.
Oh,
so it's like, so that's another decrease in in a marriage, because it's like, I don't want to do it like that no more. I don't believe in it. I don't want to, all these things that are wrapped up. And like we said before, a lot of it is what our thinking is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what God says, or nobody is asked, God, what's your plan for my life? Am I supposed to be married? All these things. You took control of the wheel and design and put yourself to say that I'm not going to be married, or I will be married, or whatnot. And God has other plans for your life.
Which is, the crazy part, I did see the percentage for first year marriage, which is around the same mark. It's like 36% or something like that. But they said the second time around, after your first divorce, the second one is a lot higher.
Of a divorce or
to get divorced?
Oh, okay.
It's a lot higher.
Really?
It goes from 36 to straight up to 70.
Why would that be?
Well,
your expectations,
expectations. You thinking they should be like the first one. You carrying all that baggage and stuff like that. Wherever reason you didn't fix something beforehand in your first marriage, you carrying on to your second marriage. And some people get married fast after that. They just do. Like, I'm gonna give me somebody else, and then they should know you seven marriages in. I'm like, stop.
You didn't ever settle with yourself.
Just stop.
You didn't never settle with yourself to know what it is.
You would think about really 3, you'd be like, okay, let me change up the game plan, but you still following through, wondering why it's not working.
Yeah.
And I paying alimony to everybody.
Everybody.
Alimony and child support.
Man. And so that's kind of like, I think, the thinking. People are watching people get divorced. People are seeing what people's thoughts are. There's podcasts out there of men saying, I don't want to be married. There's women out there bashing men for not wanting to be married. It's women that want to be married that's not finding the men that they can marry, so they get mad that they can't marry them. There's men out there that can't find a wife. They want a wife, but they don't like that woman, so they don't like women no more, and they want to. It's just a whole.
It's a lot.
It's a lot going on. And then and all of this is happening, and you're just trying to figure out where you fit in, and you try to do your thing. So there was a podcast panel. Well, it was a panel I was watching the other day, and it was the single person had a question to ask. She was asking her pastor. The pastor was answering all the questions from the church. And basically she said, I think she said you told the married people to figure out a way to have singles meet up. So, or to have us, singles meet up. Basically, married people should be helping with single men and women to meet each other. So she said, I asked a married couple, and they didn't know how to even start. So they're like, they were nervous about it. They didn't know how to start. They didn't know what to do. And she was like, and the pastor was like, this is the thing. And he kind of got on his church, got on the married couple, was like, I'm tired of y'all married people. Like, y'all act like y'all can't reach back and help single people out. Like, y'all just can't do this. You know what I'm saying? And so he was really like ticked off about it. And he was like, well, basically, y'all have all these functions. Why don't y'all invite the single people there? Super Bowl's coming up. How about you invite them there? You got events, you got weekends, you got all these things you do, yet you can't find any single people in your church to come together and possibly meet one another. So my question is it a responsibility for married couples who want to do this, but married couples to kind of do this, to activate that type of atmosphere for single people in the church?
Well, I don't think it's a duty, maybe a need, but not something where it should be like, okay, married people are responsible for the single people now. Only reason I say that is because my friends, like I will hold them responsible for a bunch of stuff. Kind of like accountability. Like, okay, if I'm this way, I'm not saying you should be this way.
Right.
But the reason why we're friends is because I know you're a certain way too. So if you're single, I'm gonna try to match you up with somebody that I know you can get married to.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find somebody else that's single up to that point, especially how the world is thinking now. It's like, bro, I can't help you. I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's my job to protect my marriage, I can't go around be like, oh, you know what, she look good. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do like I gotta hold my guys responsible.
Right.
It's like, hey, you gotta do this and that. You know, whatever you're doing right now, it's not cool. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's why that's probably what it is where the wife would probably find the women and you find the men.
But also at the same time, a lot of men don't want to be responsible for their boys getting their heart broke either. So man, you set me up like that. I'm like,
neither do we on the other end.
And that's where it falls at. It's
but
like,
then it shouldn't be. It's just really positioning them.
Yeah.
It's not really even setting them up.
Yeah.
It's just allowing them to see the opposite sex and be comfortable around them and know that they're available.
Mm-hmm.
So, just having that type of atmosphere. And so I think it's when we always say the church isn't helping the singles, we are the church. So we are the church. So I think it is a certain responsibility that married people have, if they have the capacity to do it, to try to figure out ways to do it in their zone.
Yeah.
So we have this podcast as a way because we see folks out there, friends, people out there, society going crazy. So we want to offer a way for people to get encouragement in marriage. We want to offer, you could peek into our lives, our marriage, how we met. We want you to be able to have healthy relationships. So this is our way. And later on, we'll have some events too for singles where we offer that. But I think it shouldn't just be on the pastor's not doing it. So I'm leaving this church because the pastor got a whole vision over the whole church. It's not just single people he shepherds. He shepherds everybody.
My thing is, it's like, if you was to be able to say that, you can find a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
Talk to your pastor. Hey, this is what we like in the church. I want to get a team together or something like that. The pastor might be able to like, okay, on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. you have this room available.
This is a virtual space, whatever it is.
Y'all like have board games and like they've been having the like I forgot what it was like.
I know you're talking about
stuff like that.
Stuff like that. Like I think it's there. It's just people have to be led to do it.
Yeah.
And the issue though I do see
is getting people to get there.
But also it's the trust.
Yeah.
In the leaders that do it. So sometimes they want married people to lead because if you're not a strong single person, I don't even know how they can tell that, I guess if you're discipled through the leaders and maybe they say, okay, off you go. But if you are not a strong single person in the faith in the Lord, then they probably fear you falling.
Mm-hmm.
You seeing all these women, you seeing all these men, they're single,
No,
they have so I think
they have a well, what I'm seeing now, they usually have some kind of way before you do that. Like, okay, set you up, go to this, but in order to be a member, you have to do discipleship, that kind of stuff. So in order to go to, which kind of deters a lot of people.
That's
because it's like, why I gotta go through so many hoops just to go to an event,
or go to an event, or just be a leader over it or whatever. But it's like, you got to understand.
Yeah.
This is
they want to hold you accountable. It's the same as a married person. I need to hold my friends accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to go through a certain thing.
So, babe, recently I've been on social media, and as I'm scrolling, I'm seeing a lot of people who are struggling in their relationships. And the main thing is communicating. Like, they don't know how to communicate. What do you say about that? What you thinking?
I know a lot of it's mostly geared towards the men and with the lack of communication. And how, like, they can't hold one or something like that, or they're not capable.
Yeah. And I think it's just a learning thing. Like when you get together, there needs to be tools and resources that you can have to help navigate that journey.
Yeah.
With communicating.
Some kind of structure.
Yeah, some kind of structure, something that you can go to often and then make your own.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where we come into play.
Oh, yeah. We got something for you.
Yeah, we got something called the Communication Game Changer.
Yeah.
It's like a guide that can help you in the season wherever you are, whether you are dating exclusively, you're engaged, or married.
Even single.
I mean, yeah, even if you're single, you can learn. And it's basically a structured question that you can start asking your spouse or significant other.
Yeah.
And I think it can help those who are out there. And it's really a starting point. It's not the ending point. So if you need therapy, go to therapy. But this is a great start.
Definitely a great start, especially y'all having arguments and nobody's listening to each other.
Mm-hmm.
We got some.
And we definitely use this.
Kind of forgot what I was saying.
Have been using it for a long time now.
I think
in our marriage, and it's helped us greatly. So
basically, I'll hold mine. We just want to share it with my friends.
We just want to share it with you. So go ahead and click the link in the description to get your copy of the Communication Game Changer.
They have to do it. All right. But more of if they're single, I know they're of good character. I'm like, okay, if I have you come to these events or something like that, I want them to be like, in a way, kind of be able to be married.
Yeah.
Or available.
Right.
In that sense.
True. You won't just be sending to anybody. And I think that's the whole key too. Like
because it's me doing that also reflects on me too. So if I come in and be like, oh, these my people and everything, be like, oh, he keeps setting me up with all these trash dudes, like they're gonna look at me like I'm trash.
And that's probably another reason why married people's fear is too of doing this is not finding quality people.
Yeah.
Quality meaning people who actually love Jesus and want to be married rather than want to be ratchet.
Yeah.
Before marriage. So when they see the fine brother, they see the fine girl, whatever, they won't be apt to slip. So it's like, are you, like you said, now you just started the dating process. Are you now responsible for this relationship that you helped get together?
In a way.
So that's a whole nother aspect.
Who are they gonna go to?
Exactly. So I guess you're right. I guess in that aspect, you got to think further than that. So yes, should married people cultivate an atmosphere? Yes, because you could essentially be discipling those single people. They can see you peek in your life. You could be an example, but also can go the other way if you're not ready to help them.
Yeah.
Move forward. So yeah.
Excuse me.
So we got a little stuffy nose. Like I'm recovering, so I'm trying hard not to sneeze right now, and my nose just got stuffy out of nowhere. Like I was fine.
It's our kids'
I think
fault.
It's the room.
Check on next episode on because we're about to be talking about kids.
Well,
kids on one of our next episodes. We don't know
how many of us have them kids.
Anyway, okay, go back. Come on.
Oh,
Reel
sorry.
Back.
So we want to talk about like people's expectations, and I think it all goes back to our personal expectations and desires when we first start the process of thinking about this. Like if your values, if your goals, if your priorities, if your view on healthy relationships is off, then that is going to affect who you choose and how you go about trying to get married.
Yeah.
That's all I got. That's what.
Now, it was crazy. I was just thinking about this the other day without seeing what we was going to talk about. There was somebody, I forgot who it was talking about the expectations of women and men on how, say, if like I didn't have my father in my life or something like that, so I would never know the expectations of what a man is, other than what I've seen with other men from TV shows or my brother or something like that.
Right.
But not my actual father. So when I get in a relationship, I'm missing a key piece. And what My father did.
Yeah.
So I'm showing, what I think I'm making stuff up. I'm just going along with it. So a lot of it just seems fake because it's there's no
from the
structure.
woman's point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just seems fake because it's just structure I built.
Right.
It's not something that was passed down to me. Nobody showed me nothing. So now, like, I'm in these unhealthy relationships.
Yeah.
Because my expectations is from false.
It's false. Yeah. Yeah, and
I mean, it's the same thing with women. So if you didn't have a certain parent in your life, and your expectations is high,
yeah,
which is not realistic of that person that should have been there.
yeah,
That's why a lot of stuff is failing. It's like, man, you
yeah,
want me to do what?
exactly. And this is why it's so key that you, number one, have mentors and have people in your life to help that you can see. So one of my sessions in coaching is finding people, the right type of people in your circle that you're supposed to have. And if you've never seen that before, then you need to go find that, to go see what that looks like. Same for, I'm sure, the coaching sessions you have, which is going to be a little bit similar, but it's going to be for men. You're just going to be like, here, boop, boop. So, but you need to go find that, right? Go find that. And when we read the word and we read the personality and the qualities and characteristics of our Savior, we feel like, oh, I don't know anything. You know something, because you know how our Savior is to us. So when you read characteristics of who Jesus is and his love for us, and go through the list of what love really means, then you'll be able to see, like, okay, yeah, my dad wasn't this. My mom wasn't this. I never really seen a good example, but have you seen an example of what Jesus says he is, what God is to us? That should be your blueprint on things. What you think about that?
Oh no, that was good.
Yeah.
First thing I started thinking about was agape, and for some reason, Daddy God. Hold on.
I know I heard a child too. Okay, maybe not.
So going back to what you said about basically having Jesus be the reflection of that missing piece, which is great, definitely something to look on, because that's what I'm saying, the agape,
Oh yeah,
which
you
is
were.
that kind of love is way better than our earthly. Also, a lot of the values and the things that we're missing are in the word, especially if you put it in Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of times he will find somebody to be on earth to guide you. Like some people have a stepdad, although they will fight them all the way through until they realize, you know what, they are way better than what my father would have been,
or
stepmom would have been, or actual mom, whichever one. Who's ever in that place.
Yeah.
Because it could be the storekeeper, and you'd be like, you know what, you're better dad than I ever did. Like, it's just, you have to basically read and study upon that, and then have that relationship with him in order to do so.
That's good.
Because some of us, we just
don't.
Don't.
We don't go back to the source, and then we be lost when we try to match up some qualities of a guy or a woman, and we like, I don't know if this is the one. I don't know if I should pursue. I don't know this, that, and this. Well, what is the word? What did the word say? When did you spend time with God to get the answer? Did you spend time to get the answer? Did you ask somebody that is a godly source, that's a trusted person? Start building those relationships now, and quit waiting until you're in it to build those relationships. Now you got to build a relationship with the mentor, and build a relationship with the with the person you're seeing, when the mentor can know you already, and they can tell you, no, this is not a time for you to pursue. This is not a time for you to get in that relationship. And instead of Get the relationship, get the mentor, and now you forcing them to tell you what to do when you ain't probably supposed to be in it.
And you need to listen.
And you need
Yeah.
accountability. You need to listen.
Because I had a few people where I'm like, you know what, they're looking at me for advice and stuff. Let me give them some advice, and then I tell them, and then they should know they come back and then do nothing I said, and wonder why it's not working.
Right. And so our coaching programs that we're going to build is going to help you with that. Yes, the word of God is there, but sometimes you all need somebody to give you practical advice and to help guide you in that areas and to talk and reflect back. So once you go to the word, come back, let's talk and discuss about how you can use these resources we gave you to help your relationship, your future relationships, your future marriage, dating out there. So that's what we'll kind of work on. So when we're talking about those values, goals, and priorities, you will have those. When you get in relationships, sometimes those get twisted around. You know, you get the googly eyes, you get all the things, you get the honeymoon phase of a relationship, and all those values and priorities go out the door. So you need somebody to help guide you through those things. And that's what we hope to provide when we do that. So do you think there is still pressure to settle down out there? Do you think it as much as it was back then?
No,
Is there pressure?
it used to be the top thing to do, but now it's like no, because the trend now is basically like there's no value in marriage, is what people are saying.
Yeah.
Like, or men, a lot of men are saying like there's no value for us, especially because they're putting the value in there as like money wise.
Yeah.
Where like they seen divorce rate is up. So they're like, what's the point if I'm gonna get married and you're just gonna take my stuff?
Yeah.
Like all the stuff I work for, you're just gonna take it anyway, or you're gonna put up an argument about this, and or I need to be this way, or expectations are so high, like I was saying before, because you're trying to implement something that you brought up that wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And now you're saying like, okay, I want you to do this and this and this for me.
Yeah.
In order to be married to me. And it's like, well, I might as well just be by myself. Like, why do I need to do all that? And that's what a lot of men are thinking right now. Like, I talked to a bunch of them. They was like, well, hey, man, I'm glad you're married, but I ain't doing it.
Yeah. It feels like a chore.
Well, yeah.
It feels like it's like another thing that I have to do. And if you don't have to do it, then then why do it?
Yeah.
You know?
Especially if you think about it, if all the way up to this point their relationship has been failing, they don't see marriage as a success.
Yeah. They don't see that as success. They don't see, especially if they view, and this is the thing, if you view it as a take thing, and you're not getting anything reciprocated, then that's how you're going to view it as. Well, that's not how marriage is.
But that's how a lot of relationships are. Whereas for the man is give. I ask for something. It's a fight.
It's a fight, and that's along anything in the relationship. That should probably be another episode. Although this is probably in line with it, but I want to go deeper into that part.
Yeah.
But it's like where it's like I'm doing all this for you, and I'm not getting that in exchange. And then,
or if I do too much, I'm a simp. So it's like
so it's like
no middle ground.
You can't win. And then for the women, we get this petty, crazy bind with us where we gotta do, how much money he makes, or 50-50, and if he ain't doing this, then I can't be with. If he's not on my level spiritually, I don't know, There's so many things around that, but it's like we just throw this out there, we throw it away so quickly, and we don't really see like what marriage could actually be like. That's surface stuff that's beneath. It's like you're looking at the iceberg. You know how you see the iceberg and you see the top of it, and it's only a little piece, but then the bottom underneath the water is so huge. You're just seeing that, but you don't see everything else that it could possibly be in a relationship that can be healthy, and that could be a healthy work for you. not something to bring you down, not a weight.
Yeah.
You don't get married to just be weight and burden. And some people are fearful of that. They see it too much where it's like, I don't want to be weight for nobody else. I don't want to have to be burdened down. I don't want to be crying all day. I don't want to wonder where he is, where I don't want him to not, I don't want to be dissatisfied all the time. Like they're seeing marriages where they know couples are dissatisfied behind the scenes, but they are posting pictures on Instagram of the anniversaries, Valentine's Day, all these things. Everything looks great and grand.
They ain't doing that no more.
What?
Yeah, they the thing I've been seeing a lot more. I've been seeing of a lot of couples are outing themselves on on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. But my husband ain't doing this and just post it out to the world. It's like I'm only seeing a glimpse.
Yeah.
And you saying this is happening all the time, where it could have just been something where you just was petty about. Not the whole world is against your person.
Exactly. And I think it's out culture.
Oh yeah.
Like before it was like, well, I don't know what it was before. It was just all crazy before. But now it's like, let me air out whatever I need to air out because this is my time to do it. About anything. When we saw Cat Williams, we saw Monique go out and do that, like with celebrities.
2024 is definitely out.
Yeah, we see that, but it's like everybody else is like outing everything now. We're getting so unhealthy with this. Like, do y'all have to keep doing all that? Like, it's just nonsense out there. And so now we're looking for sources that can show us healthy because you keep feeding yourself with these unhealthy views of things. And you seeing people out here who you worshiped, who were in marriages, who are on TikTok doing all the fancy camera moves and doing all these things for their significant other, all these things. It looks great. But behind the scenes, it was like a horrible, it was horribly wrong what they were going through. And now you seeing them outing each other, battling one another. And so now it's like, dang, I thought they were really going to be something. You see all these celebrities that are breaking up, like these celebrity couples, which you some of these celebrity couples you already know. Yeah. You like, wait a minute, no, this ain't a whole different ballgame. But go ahead.
Actually, crazy part is I just saw a video of that where it's like the men were watching a football game. Now the person recording put on there saying the men are watching a football game and the pregnant wife is over here basically cleaning the kitchen. And when they showed her, I'm in my head, I'm like, but the kitchen was clean and she was just moving stuff around.
Yeah.
I'm like, why the person holding the camera ain't helping?
Right.
But then on top of that, like, we don't know if she asked them or maybe, and the thing is she was pregnant. Maybe she just couldn't sit down. Yeah. Because I'm never been pregnant, of course, but maybe the baby was kicking so much she couldn't sit down or something. Yeah. Maybe there was something happening to where she's like, I got to get up. I got to do something.
Right.
Let me go clean up the kitchen real quick. Now, of course, I would have been like, hey, you need some help. But they're watching the game. Of course, I know how she would be with me and guests. She'd be like, you need to go over there and talk to your people that's over there. You need to be with the guests.
Yeah.
So that could have been that case, but whoever was recording wanted to out the marriage.
Yeah.
Like, look at all the men just sitting here watching the game while she over here. But you in there with her. You recording.
Right.
Like, you could have said something.
Yeah.
But instead, you want to be behind people's back trying to be sneaky about it.
It's all about views.
Yeah, it's all about views.
All about outing people out.
And the men didn't know. They were just all.
They ain't tripping.
Looking at the game.
And that's the way the world is now. But this is why you can't, when you look at that type of stuff, you can't speak that on you.
Yeah.
Or anyone around you. Like, you got to look at that and be like, okay, that's them. That ain't me. That's them. That's not going to be me.
And you got to look at the whole thing, too. And a lot of times you can't. You only see them.
The bigger picture.
What? Less than a minute of what their life was?
What their life was. Don't put your life in somebody else's hands. Like, just, you know what God says about you. You know what God told you about who you're supposed to be with and your desires of your heart. If that's not the desire of your heart, then don't be putting it in. Like, we putting it in put things like that in your heart. Like, scroll on, pass on, don't post, don't reshare, don't go bring it up in conversations. And then now you feel weighted again and you feel oh my gosh, I feel the negative energy just seeps back in. Find a healthy relationship to look at. Like, stop doing that.
Speaking of negative energy, I forgot the second part was the lady got on there saying what a woman should start doing is stop cleaning and cooking.
Okay.
I mean, we should just stop cleaning and cooking. Isn't it? Like,
oh, like boycott?
Yeah, basically like boycott. In my head, I'm like, I'm just gonna cook and clean. Then I mean, I would just be like, okay, she's tired. Let me just go cook and clean then.
Right. A good man would see
a good man with like any other man who can't cook or clean. Like,
what's happening?
What's happening? One dude in the comments said, "Well, I guess I'll just leave at work." But that's how the marriage feels. It's like, well, he at work all the time. Now you wondering why he ain't there.
Exactly. So
I know there's so much.
Don't create views based off of what you see.
No.
So
communication, talk it out.
Talk it out, and that's a good segue.
That should be the expectations. The communication. A lot of y'all don't have that.
Yeah, and so like when it comes to marriage expectations, a lot of you are fearful about. This is the thing. You're not going to know what marriage is before you get married. You could do all the prep work, have all the tools, with the tools and resources to help. So when you do encounter situations in your marriage, you can be able to converse and talk with that person, with your significant other about it. And this is why we preach pre-engagement counseling, premarital counseling, and even counseling in the first couple years. Like that's something that I would suggest too, so that you can get on the right page with that person. You're blending lives, right? So if your expectations are off, you will know because you'll be able to talk through it with somebody, right? So there's a post that I seen. Somebody asked about what are some marriage, what conversations should you be having before you even get engaged? Like this is before even engagement. And so, oh, you don't see it on there too. So I was going to run through a couple so that you'll be able to see what those things are. Like what should you be talking about when it comes? So like finances and budgeting is something to talk about, right? In-laws and holidays.
That's important.
You know, what is holidays going to look like when we get married? Whose house are we going to? Is your mom going to trip if we don't show up for Christmas?
We had to have that conversation because my parents are here and hers is on the other side of the country. Mm-hmm. And it was, so I was like, how are we going to set this up?
Right. We had to figure it out. Mm-hmm. We had to start talking about, because again, that could be arguments that pop up.
You know, sure you want to argue about it.
And you might think it's like, oh, well, we'll figure it out when we get there. It's a lot of these things. We have that thing about us that says, oh, I'll figure it out when we get there. We love each other. Yeah. That is going to only last so long.
Just sweep that around under the rug. Well, we'll handle that when we get to it.
Yeah, no. What else you see on there, babe? That
birth control and lack thereof.
Man. Talk about it.
Hey, that's still a conversation to have when you're married, because sometimes you might want to enjoy each other for a couple of years or a few. But hey, not yet. And then like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Housing, moving, and number of cars.
That's a good one. Number of cars.
That's the upper poor money.
The upper poor money. Upper middle class. No, the middle class.
Upper middle class poor.
Okay. Yeah, number of cars is important.
Yeah.
Because it's like what type of lifestyle.
Well, we automatically gonna say two, because if I came in with a car, you came in with a car, that makes two. So
yeah, but some people like, I want my sports car and I want my other car. I don't know. Like, just talk about it.
I mean, shoot, I always think about I want a Denali, but that ain't gonna happen because it's a gas guzzler.
Gas guzzler. Moving.
Yeah, definitely.
If you got careers that are on the up and up.
Oh, like the
what?
So we completed our training, and within the training,
the
couple was fighting over where to move, and it was like, I don't want to move out the city. She's like, but it's only 20 minutes.
Right.
And she had a house.
Yeah, and he didn't want to move.
He didn't want to move because his house or his condo was close to the job.
And she had a house she's paying mortgage for.
And he's renting.
It's like, sir.
But he was talking about because he don't want to live in the suburbs.
Right. So yeah, that's something y'all gotta talk about. I can't.
It was a big deal because I guess they've been having fights about it to where they had to sit there and make a middle ground, and the middle ground sounded wild.
Man, so
that's definitely a conversation to have.
It's a conversation. Child discipline and rearing. Yeah. How to deal with hard times, car accidents, infertility, miscarriage, surgery, death, mental health crisis.
Was that one y'all could talk about? But
abuse.
Until you actually go through it, and I'm when I say until, I pray that you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But until you go through that, the talk ain't the same as to go through.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about it, kind of like more of like preparation of what we should kind of try to do, but it's never going to be the same.
It's never going to be. Yeah. And that's where that's why it's so important to have the tools and resources available. Like knowing that you have a therapist around, or knowing who's around, who's your support system. Like when this time happens.
Not to leave each other's side.
Yeah, those things.
To have some kind of open communication. Don't be sitting there trying to blame each other, because we've seen people do that too. Yep. Where everybody's saying where something like they blame one person and the other person's mad about it, and they want to hold it in, but then bring it up in a fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So different therapists.
Work husbands, work wives. Not having it. Talk about.
Why is that a thing?
Why is it a thing? And why aren't y'all making sure that y'all don't have one? You're up here having a emotional,
a full work relationship.
Yeah, full work relationship with somebody,
and not even work, just all relationship.
Yeah,
at work.
It's like no,
and you're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
no.
So talk about those things now. How your dislike for them, your distaste. Like we can't. This is not going in. We talking about insurance, what that looks like, who's taking it, whose job has it, sexual expectations, household chores and responsibilities. I'm just gonna go quickly. Specific boundaries for family, blended family specifics, finding a church home denomination. That's a key one. I know somebody who she just got engaged, and he's a minister of a church, and she doesn't like it. She doesn't like his church home. Like, and not because it's like, I don't like it here. It's like old school, traditional
hymns.
Yeah, all the things that she's not used to. But he's about to be ordained at that church. So he's like, well, but she's like, I'm still not going to be a member there. So she's going to wait till after he's ordained. Then they're going to figure out where to go. But that's something to talk about.
Okay.
Denominations. He's United Methodist, United Denominational. Like, where y'all going to go? What y'all going to do? How you will use your alone time and recharge. This was a good one. The wartime plan. What do you think about that one?
Now, what kind of wartime are we talking about? We talking about actual wartime?
Maybe.
That's
a good list.
That's some stuff
I
think about.
Or a pandemic plan. Maybe that's in the whole wartime pandemic.
Yeah, because I made a whole plan out, and I had to tell her. She's like, "Why are we doing this?"
Exactly.
I was like, "Hey, we need to do this in prep."
None of us.
It never reached to that point, but we was kind of prepared.
None of us were prepared for what happened some years back.
Well, technically, we kind of was, because I was up on. I was on.
No,
I was like, "Hey, we need to do this."
No, none of us were prepared for like what our relationships were going to go through.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like when that happens, let's talk about what we. Yes, okay, we got to go buy items, get toilet tissue, toilet paper, find safety, whatever. But how are we going to be in our marriage? Like marriages, like a lot of marriages and divorces happened during the pandemic.
Oh yeah,
it was a lot that came out even out of the pandemic. They realized a lot. I got a lot going on. Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, the part they did realize is after not going to work and having to spend more time together, it's like we don't really like each other, do we?
Exactly. So y'all got to learn how y'all gonna learn how to keep liking each other when hard times happen.
That should be a requirement for premarital now.
Yeah, it should be. It should definitely
be. 5-day just seclusion to ourselves. That's not a honeymoon. Just stay in our apartment.
And and if y'all don't have kids, throw some kids in there.
Throw some kids in there.
So find your sister's kids,
some nephews
your
and nieces, and y'all got to take care of them. And if y'all last through that, then
y'all could. If you could dodge a wrench,
that's it.
You could dodge
a ball. You could dodge anything. Because that'd be a wrench right there. A lot of y'all would be like, we can't do it.
Mm-hmm. So I think that should be something. How much to spend on the wedding, the ring, and the honeymoon? I didn't tell you. I mean, we didn't discuss the ring, but I know maybe the ring, like your ring, you know. Yeah. And we worked that out. But
yeah, she was like, why don't you do this? I don't care.
And I wasn't, I'm not like but some women are like, I want this type of ring, this cut, this carat, this big. And he's like, well, I ain't got it like that. So
my boy showed me that Super Bowl ring. It was like, here you go. I'm like, nah, bro. No, give me that. Give me that. That's what I want for me.
But discuss that. And then also husband and wife expectations in all areas of life. So, and one that I did skip over because we had interruption from the kids was sexual expectations. I wanted to put that on the high part because there's a lot that goes along with marriage. And with this, I was speaking to my client the other day when I was coaching, and it's not like with sexual expectations, you have to discuss, well, okay, well, I'm gonna flip you up down and you're gonna ride on the chandelier and all the stuff. Like, you ain't got to talk about that. But some people have sexual traumas. You can talk about why you don't watch certain things, what that does to you, why you don't listen to this type of music, why we can't listen to the music together, like, and how you want to save that for, well, not the stuff on TV, maybe not that stuff, but what it does to you.
Why you can't show that shoulder meat on our dates?
Yeah, all that. So, this is all things that you should be thinking about. This is why expectations are so off. So all this other stuff that y'all be thinking about, where he gonna take you for dinner, what he show up as, even to the point to where how he dresses, y'all know,
shallow.
Y'all could fix that.
Shallow.
She don't know how to cook. That could be fixed. A lot of things can be fixed, and y'all up here around the wrong things.
Yeah, that's because they never want to go through the process of being with somebody that's going through stuff to eventually make it to the point to where they want them to be. They want them to already be there.
You want Jesus, and Jesus said.
The thing is, Jesus was rich in heaven.
Yeah, he was perfect.
he was rich in heaven.
Yeah.
On earth, that man wasn't rich. He just,
I see what you mean.
He was just casting miracles, and y'all like, we want you to be Jesus. Jesus didn't.
He had a purpose.
He had a purpose.
You can't put people in a Jesus box.
And a lot of men out here got purpose, but because they don't have the riches from heaven, you just like, nah, I don't want you. That don't make no sense. I ain't in heaven yet.
And just like I said, because you all are both with each other, that's what makes it work and more powerful.
Now, I ain't saying you have to. I know there's a minimum. You don't have to go all the way down. I ain't saying homeless.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you find somebody, they doing their thing.
Yeah.
You doing the thing, your thing, wherever you want to say. And y'all get together, it don't have to be to where he has to be all the way up here.
Yeah.
If he's working his way up there, say he's getting his bachelor's or wherever, as I said, his master's or something like that, and like, I'd rather you have your master's. Talk to me when you get that.
Right.
That's kind of messed up. Like, okay, all right, well, in that case, to him, you're a distraction.
Yeah.
If you want to be like that.
Exactly.
Sorry, I got a little petty there. Go ahead.
It's a lot of pettiness going out there, so you good. So, yeah. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. Of course, this is so much more. with this, but we want to at least bring y'all, because this is a whole training in itself. This is actually something that we're bringing into our coaching program too.
We got graphs. I'm
not having a graph, but this is something I'm bringing into the coaching program for the women I coach. The DJ is going to work with me on for our sessions with women, also, so that he can bring a male perspective in. But we have to talk about it. It has to be talked about.
I better be willing to listen, because it'll be making sense.
Yep. So, all right. Well, that is the episode that we had today. Any final thoughts?
If you got the reviews, any questions, especially if you want to ask me, or my wife, put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
I even make a poll for this.
All right. And catch us back on the next episode. You have been listening or watching When Marriage
and Purpose
Collide
podcast.
We out.
Thank you for tuning into When Marriage and Purpose Collide, the podcast.
Click on the links in the description to learn a little more about us. Subscribe and send a review on your takeaways or any new insight you have gained in this episode. If you are a single Christian woman and you are seeking to date with intention and cultivate love in 2024, you'll also find resources and details on programs I have to offer in the description.
Don't worry, man. Resources coming soon.
See you back here for our next episode.